Hi, I'm Jeff Gish with Mile High Jeep Club, and you've been listening to Trailhead Podcast.
Hey Trailheads, welcome back to the Trailhead. I'm JD, and today's episode is coming to you from the All for Fun event in Buena Vista, Colorado. We've got a jam-packed episode with conversations and stories from the trails, capturing the excitement and community spirit of one of the biggest Jeep gatherings in Colorado. While at All for Fun, I had the chance to chat with a variety of fellow Jeepers, including catching up with Ryan from Trails Off-Road. He played a crucial role in providing up-to-date trail information and helping participants navigate and plan their adventures. If you want to know how to make the most of your off-roading experience at All for Fun, Ryan has some great insights. Then there's Nate, who recounted a gripping story of a rollover accident on Black Bear Pass from a previous All for Fun event. His story is a powerful reminder of the importance of safety, preparedness, and never leaving anyone behind on the trails. I also had a great conversation with Chris, the club historian, about the deep sense of community that the All for Fun event fosters. We discussed how this event is more than just about off-roading. It's about bringing people together, forming lifelong friendships, and building a supportive Jeep family that keeps growing stronger year after year. But that's not all. Throughout this episode, you'll hear from more Jeepers sharing their stories about the scenic and technical trails, the fun of the after-hours events, and the unique camaraderie that defines the Mile High Jeep Club. Whether you are a seasoned wheeler or just getting started, this episode captures what makes the All for Fun event such a beloved tradition for Jeep lovers. So grab a drink, kick back, and enjoy these stories from the heart of the action. Hello, Trailheads, and welcome to the Trailhead. Before the trails start today, we need to have a short safety meeting. Off-roading is an exhilarating but inherently risky sport. The insights and opinions that are shared by our hosts and any experts or guests on the podcast are intended to inform and inspire, not replace professional guidance. The Trailhead guests, partners, and any sponsors are not liable for any actions that you take based on what you hear. It is your responsibility to seek professional advice and make informed decisions, especially when attempting potentially dangerous activities. Always check current trail conditions and comply with local laws and regulations. Off-roading requires careful preparation and respect for safety, so ensure that you're well prepared before hitting the trails. And now that that's out of the way, buckle up and let the stories begin.
Welcome to the Trailhead, where trails start and stories unfold.
One, two, three.
Welcome to the show, everyone. Now here's JD.
Well, hello, guys. It's JD. I'm here at the All for Fun event. I got yet another interviewee. We've got Chris here. And Chris, what's your official title, man?
I'm actually the historian for the club.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
So you're the. Well, I know you didn't write all the stuff in the book this year.
I didn't. A lot of that came from our previous historian. I'm still trying to catch up.
Yeah.
Our previous historian had actually been with the club since the 1970s.
Damn.
But he had some health concerns, and unfortunately he passed away.
Yeah.
So I picked up a lot of that, and I'm still trying to study up on,
That's all right.
on
I think
everything club-wise.
the shirt's a good start.
Thank you. Yeah, well, it was warm earlier. It's not now.
I know.
I figured
I very much want to get a hoodie right now.
Yeah. The Hawaiian shirt fit earlier.
It did. And then the afternoon storms came in that we've been getting every day.
Yeah, a little rain.
Is this a normal thing for this event?
Oh yeah.
Every year?
During opening ceremonies, one of our MCs had made the comment that we've been taking care of Colorado droughts since the 1970s. We've been making sure Colorado is drought free this week every year for 40
man,
years.
It just poured. Like I've been trying to. Every time I try to cook dinner over the last 3 days, it wants to rain on me. And It's like, well, I guess it's hot dogs over the fire pit again.
Yep. Grab a lighter. Go inside.
Exactly.
Yep.
So how long have you been with Mile High Jeep Club?
About 2.5 years.
Okay, so
actually.
not that long. You're kind of fresh face.
Yeah.
Compared to some of the other folks I've talked to. I talked to, who was it, Jeff or Jerry? It was 40 years or something shit like that.
Yeah, Jerry, actually even his parents were involved.
Jesus.
And I've looked through our news. I've got all of our newsletters going back to 1956.
Oh, good Lord.
And I dug through one, I believe it was from 1973, talking about the All for Fun.
Okay.
And he had won the kids category, 7 to 10-year-old or something like that, for the watermelon eating contest. So, yeah,
That's awesome.
he's been a part of the club for a very long time. His whole family, and even now his kids. So you're not talking third generation.
Yeah, I mean, because it's what 58 years. This is the 58th.
This is the 58th All for Fun.
All for
but
Fun.
the club itself has
59.
been open since 1956.
Okay. Jesus Christ, that's just
Yeah.
like there's not a whole lot of groups that have that kind of longevity in general.
No, I did a lot of research, and I want to say that we're the second oldest continuing Jeep club right now.
Okay.
But we're certainly bigger than the first oldest. Hopefully I don't catch some flack from them on that.
It's
but,
all right. If they're not growing, then it's just kind of like, well, they're just gonna,
they can join us.
attrition.
We can,
It's just straight up attrition.
We can just merge. That's
At
fine.
that point, is it another Jeep club?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
well then, yeah.
Yeah, we'll just do a corporate
We're the
takeover.
same.
That's fine.
Are they in Colorado?
No, I want to say they're out of Arizona.
Oh, so
I'd
then we
have to
just
take
need
a
to
look.
make a national thing then.
I'm down.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's make that happen.
Okay.
All right, let's talk about you though. So how long have you been wheeling in general?
I started wheeling back in high school with a 1984 Chevy pickup.
Nice. I
Half-tons.
love those.
I love old square bodies.
Yeah.
That's my heart just goes to them. It's a single cab short bed, half ton, manual transmission. Had the 5.0 in it, which is a garbage motor. I think in the first year we put more work into it than I paid for it. It was a rough first car, but going down the trail, it did great.
Yeah.
So I really got used to it. I've even taken it up wheeler. No lockers, no lift, 33-inch tires, thanks to cut fenders.
All right,
It
so
did
here's
it.
the thing. I've been talking about wheeler like all damn day
Okay.
because I don't believe it is a 5 and a 7. I think it is a 6 and an 8.
Okay.
And I can't believe you got up there with 33s.
So it was difficult back in the day.
Yeah.
And it was also really hard on my lower back because the thing rides like a dump truck.
I can imagine still shocked.
Yeah. I think the rating would be correct today.
Yeah.
Because I ran that 15, maybe 20 years ago
Yeah.
in that truck, and our trails they've gotten a lot of use, especially because when I ran it, side by sides weren't a thing.
Yeah.
So those weren't even out yet.
Yeah.
So a lot of those trails have gotten a lot more use throughout the years. Like even Red Cone, I took that thing up Red Cone, no problem.
Yeah.
Doing Red Cone now, there's no way I'd even touch it. There's one certain rock. There's no way that thing's getting through without major skid plates or something.
Yeah. Well, in that beginning section now is all dug out. And
It
rutted
is.
out
Yep.
for it. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and I we've talked about ATVs and side sides.
I got nothing.
I don't have anything against them. What I tell people on a regular basis is like I would like it to be a more open dialogue, so that we can like have a better conversation about
absolutely
the impacts that everybody's doing. So.
Yeah. One's built for speed.
Yeah.
The other one has air conditioning. That's why I bought. That's why I bought the other
Exactly.
one.
I am much more of a creature comfort person than anything else.
Yeah. Yep.
Exactly. So have you done any trails this week, or has it been purely a work week?
No,
for
I've done a couple. Easy trails though. We're talking Hancock Pass, Tin Cup. I've got not to turn this interview south or sad or anything like that, but I have an elderly special needs dog with me.
Okay.
I'm not sure how much time she has left. I love having her with me, so I'm taking the easier trails, so I'm not bouncing her out of the Jeep.
Yeah.
She loves it. She has a great time.
That's awesome.
And
I know this is a animal lover show, so you're
Yep.
so much so that we had a pet expert on to talk about pet safety.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
We all found out
awesome.
that we weren't securing our dogs well enough in the vehicle.
Let's roll up the windows a little bit.
Oh,
maybe.
it's not. She's like, you really need to tie them down. I was like, well, that's fair.
Yeah. Yep. I should probably do the same.
Yeah. That's it. But yeah, I get that part. That's cool though. See, I've mentioned this a couple times today. I'm much more of like that 3 to 5 kind of wheeler.
Okay,
I
yeah.
much prefer the scenic stuff, especially in Colorado. Like it's so gorgeous.
Yep.
Like I mean, from our campsite, it's beautiful. But
Right.
you get up on these mountains and it's just you look out and it's breathtaking.
Well, and that's the amazing thing about All for Fun is that you can take those 3-4 trails.
Yeah.
If you want to see the scenery, if you want to have a great day, a good lunch while you're at the top of the mountain.
Exactly.
You want to actually slow down and enjoy your time.
Yeah.
Or there are the trails that are the 8s, 9s, and 10s. Carnage Canyon is on the list.
Like The name alone means I'll never be on it.
Right. Yeah, I would love to, but my Dana 44s are telling me no.
Yep. And it's my bank account is telling me no.
That too. That
I
too.
think it's
But I ignore that one as much as I can.
I think we all do.
Yeah, it's just-
I think the general consensus is that we're not rich. None of us are rich. We're just all very irresponsible.
Very.
Very,
Yeah.
very irresponsible.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
I have way more debt related to that Jeep.
You know what? All calls just go to voicemail anyway, so
I mean,
we're good. We're good.
I can screen everything. It looks like spam. I'm sure it's spam.
Yeah, I don't know that bank.
So what else? What else are you doing this week in terms of just trails that you want to hit?
That's a really good question. So I'm taking tomorrow off.
Okay.
Because I am part of the I'm actually chairing the entertainment committee.
With that shirt, you have to be.
Oh yeah, of course. Yep. Like I said, I'll be the cruise director for the week.
100%.
I will be on the promenade deck.
Yep.
So we do have a band coming tomorrow, Smithsonians. They're a local band. They're a family band, mom,
Okay.
dad, and 2 kids.
That's cool.
And they're phenomenal. We had them last year at Empire, so we're having them again this year.
Okay.
So I just want to take the day, make sure that dance floor and
that
everything's
stuff
set
is
up.
set up.
Yep. I'm going to make them dinner so they've got something to eat when they get here. So I'm just taking the day off on that, and then Friday's the last day.
Yeah.
And I think I might do just a private run with a friend of mine in the group.
Yeah.
Whether we do Champion Mill in Leadville is
That's
one
right
I
there,
really,
isn't
really
it?
love.
There.
Yeah.
I totally forgot about
Yep.
that too.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we'll figure it out.
I mean, that's one of the things that I think I have not heard enough from people here today. Like, Off-Run's a great place to meet people. So you go your first couple days, you meet some friends, and you're like, okay, I want to go out, and I don't necessarily want to go out with one of the big groups. Like, this area is so saturated with trails that you can go out and not run into another soul all day.
Yep, absolutely.
And just do your own thing.
Yep.
And still come back here and then be a part of the band and everything else that goes on here tonight.
Yep, yeah.
This is, this is my first year, and I've had a blast tonight.
I'm really glad to hear that. I'm glad you've been a part of it. Hope to see you again next year. Hope to see you a lot more. This is fantastic.
I'm going to try to bring my wife out next year. I think she was going to be a little And here's the thing. I'm going to say this to you because my wife is one of those people that isn't necessarily a crowds person. What's her count of people here?
Okay.
What is her count?
I want to say we're over 700 this time.
So 700 people.
Yeah.
I have not once ever felt swamped by people, even today during the vendor show.
Yeah.
Like
Yep.
it was a nice flow of people.
Yep.
On the opening night was the only night that it was packed in here.
Yeah.
And it's not overwhelming. Like, there's a ton of people here, but it's
Yep.
not overwhelming.
Well, not everyone stays here. We have
Yeah.
a lot of people that stay at motels or hotels throughout the town,
Yep.
or Airbnbs or whatever.
Yeah.
So you don't have every single person on the
It's
campsite.
not super concentrated.
Yeah.
And,
Yep.
and in this particular the fairgrounds here, you can actually spread out a little bit if you don't want to be that close to folks.
Yeah, there's a ton of room here.
Yeah, it's really cool though. I've got nothing but good things to say about this event now at this point. So
That's awesome. I'm glad to hear that.
awesome, man. Well, what else should we chat about? Anything else that we want to talk about when it comes to either the Mile High Jeep Club or the event in general?
Yeah, I'll talk a little bit about the Mile High Jeep Club. I completely fell into this. I was not into Jeeps. Like I said, I had that square body Chevy.
Yeah.
I happened to just impulse buy 2012 JK Rubicon Unlimited on 38-inch tires.
Yeah.
It was definitely an impulse buy.
Yeah.
Worse than my Harley. But I'm digging through the back of it one day, and I see there's a box of goodies for the roll cage parts, different handles and stuff like that.
Okay.
And I pull out, and there's a sticker for Patrol 3, Mile High Jeep Club. And so I actually reached out. I went onto the website, and I reached out to the patrol leader of Patrol 3, just to, hey, do you know who owns this Jeep?
Yeah.
I would love to know some history on it. I didn't want to.
I'm gonna love talking to you. By the way, I'm a history buff when it comes to all these trails.
Cool, awesome.
I
didn't want to bug the guy or anything like that. So the patrol leader, he goes, yeah, I'll reach out to him and let him know. But hey, you should stop by one of our parent club meetings. Maybe run a greenhorn with us. So I did. And I joined the club, and 6 months later became the historian. And here we are 2.5 years later.
And
committee chair, historian. Not only do I have the JK, but I've got 2 XJs sitting at home too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So I head first as far as you can possibly go into the Jeep world. while I was walking through a used car dealership looking for a reliable daily driver like a Mazda CX-5.
No. Why?
So-
Why? Well, you can go into never-ending debt.
Well, that's exactly it. You know, why would I want something cheap and reliable when I can get something that actually makes me friends like this? You know, I could have gone for the reliable daily driver and done the sensible thing.
Yeah.
But I've gained family here.
That's the thing that I don't think everybody understands. Like the community that built around a vehicle,
Yeah.
built around a sport.
Yep.
Like, and it's on display here because it's concentrated, and you get to see everybody out there having a good time doing it, and really getting all those engaging moments, and it's awesome. Like it's one of the best parts about owning a Jeep.
Absolutely. It's
Or whatever you got. Like I told you guys before, give me a Suzuki Samurai any day.
we've got an older couple that has a built Suzuki Samurai.
I've
They're
seen
going to
it.
do Carnage.
I know.
Tomorrow.
Are they doing it, Carnage?
Yeah.
I want video of that.
Yeah, it is.
I'm going to insert video of that here.
It is built, and the club, we're not limited to Jeeps.
Right.
It's our bylaws are a 4-wheel drive with a selectable transfer case.
Yeah. It's just a 58-plus-year-old name.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's
And the bylaws have been that way since, like, I want to say 1962.
Oh, really?
Right, we've been open to everyone for a long time. I've got old archive videos of Broncos and K5 Blazers.
Oh, really?
Like brand new first year K5 Blazers out on trails with the Jeep Club.
Oh, I hope you're doing something good with all that footage.
They're all on our YouTube channel.
Really? Okay.
Yep.
All right, so check out their YouTube channel. I'll link to it in the show notes.
Well, thank you. I
That's
appreciate that.
oh yeah, 100% every time, man. That's content I don't have to make. What are you talking about?
It's content I didn't have to make either.
There you
Luckily,
go, dude.
I had the video files and added an intro and an end and
That's awesome.
put them online.
Are you so real quick as a history question? So like, was that your draw then? Are you just a history buff when it comes to that kind of stuff?
I'm a huge history buff.
Okay, cool.
I'll admit we were having issues trying to find someone who was willing to pick up that mantle and replace our historian.
Here's the thing, guys. I've done a lot of research for a lot of the trails that I've written up on Trails Off-Road, and some of the history is easy to find, and some of it isn't. And you really have to be dedicated to do the research to find it and to keep up with it.
Yeah. And I have every newsletter going back to 1956.
And you've read them all, right?
Yes.
I've been trying.
Yes.
Just
all
say
of
yes.
them. Every single
there
one.
you go. Jerry, you heard that. He said he read them all.
I have.
Now you can question
You got
him
it.
on
Yep. August 1973. I think you're mentioned in there for the watermelon eating contest. Just saying.
Exactly. I don't think you guys have announced yet what next year's Alpha Fun is yet, right?
We have not.
You guys do that typically on the last day?
So this is my second Alpha Fun.
Okay.
I honestly don't know. It was announced last year on the last day.
Okay.
But from what I hear, we don't quite have a committee chair or a chair, an Alpha Fun chair yet.
Yeah.
So it's kind of up in the air at the moment. I'm not quite sure. And I do know we rotate around. It's likely maybe Leadville next year.
Okay.
I don't know if they're going quite back to Ouray. I'm hoping it gets announced on the last day for sure.
Yeah. Awesome, man. All right. Well, let's see here. Any closing thoughts then for the tens of followers out there?
For a vehicle I didn't really understand, a group of people I didn't really understand either, I happened to just dive in head first, and I can't believe the friends and family I've made from this event, from being part of the club. I have people I would consider my best of friends who I would take a bullet for, and we met 2 years ago. It's really crazy how life turns out. So if you're at a used car dealership and you're looking at the Mazda CX-5 or the Honda CR-V, right next to it is a Rubicon.
Maybe,
you're
maybe
gonna
consider it.
Yeah, you're gonna be eating ramen for a little while. It's fine, but you're gonna be gaining an entire family, people you never knew existed, and it is absolutely worth every bit of effort you put into it because you're gonna get so much more back.
Yes. And on a selfish point, just check it out at the Mile High Jeep Club at the Alpha Fun, because this is a great place to just get your feet wet and meet some people and friends that you are probably going to have for life. And
Absolutely.
I mean, if you're local or not, Like, how many people, states this year? 28, 32, or something like
I
that?
want to say 32. We have
30.
people as far as New York,
Yeah.
South Carolina.
They drove all the way, too. I talked
They
to them.
did,
They
yeah.
drove, that's
Yeah.
ballsy.
Yep, and we even have a couple people from British Columbia, Canada.
See, I need to get those, I need to talk to those guys.
Yeah,
'cause,
so it's even international.
we need some scout routes up there for Trails Off-Road.
Right?
man,
Oh,
because
yeah.
it's so gorgeous.
Oh,
that
yeah.
Storytell
Those
Nah guy,
forests,
yeah.
yeah.
He's just making me jealous with every video he
Oh
posts.
God, I love his videos.
Yeah, and him and Trail Recon just did a whole big thing.
Oh,
I can't,
really?
they're gonna. Yeah, I'm sure that
He-
video is gonna kill everybody.
He's got great videos, but I have no intention of digging a 10-foot snow shelter and staying in that for the
No,
weekend.
he
So
is. I give him credit, and man, if you're watching this, I want you on the show.
I would love to meet you.
And Chris will come on and just we'll have him on as an extra interviewee.
Yep, I would love to shake that cold hand of yours and say hello.
That
There's
cold hand that
there's
had to
no way
replace
there's
those
any-
tracks.
Yeah,
Yep.
there's no way there's any warmth back in.
All right. Well, thank you very much for joining me, Chris. I really
Thank you. I
appreciate it.
really
man.
appreciate it.
I will see you next year at this event for sure.
Sweet.
I have zero doubt in my mind. I don't know if my wife's gonna like it, but I will.
Well,
Awesome.
we make our own decisions.
we make our own decisions. So cool. All right. Well, thanks, guys. Appreciate you stopping by.
Thank you.
Hey, everybody. This is JD. I am here with, I think, my last interview for the day at All for Fun 2024 in Buena Vista, Colorado. And please introduce yourself, sir.
I'm Nate from Wisconsin. I've been coming all for fun on and off since the 80s through the 90s, a little hiatus between 1995 and about 2016, and now I've been coming back as I can ever since.
Nice. So, did you drive all the way from Wisconsin?
I did. I have a Super Duty.
Oh, you towed it.
Yeah.
You cheater.
My dad back in the day, my dad used to drive out, but
Yeah, it gets. I mean, if I had the money and a trailer, I would much rather trailer it to place to place.
with the wife and kid, it's kind of, you got the camper, you got the Super Duty, you got the Bronco, kind of
Yeah, exactly.
home
It's-
away from home.
Oh, I that's exactly where I would love to be. So, yeah, and I was going to tell you, I'm from Chicago originally. So
Oh, I'm sorry.
I know, trust me. That's why I moved out here. Well, I moved out here for a whole host of other reasons, but it was a lucky break. Where did you start wheeling? Did you start wheeling in Wisconsin?
So I pretty much started wheeling as I was born.
Okay.
I believe I was brought home from the hospital in a 68 Bronco. So I've kind of grown up in Broncos and in Midwest wheeling, and then every summer was you go to All for Fun.
Okay.
There was no other family vacation. It was July or end of July, first week of August. It kind of varies a little bit in the date.
Right.
It's you get in the truck, you put the Bronco in the trailer, you're at All for Fun.
Yeah.
And it was that way up through 95, which was kind of the weird year that we stopped going to All for Fun, and there's kind of a story behind that.
Oh yeah. What's that story?
So 95,
How long of a break was that then for you? 95 to win?
95 to like 2016.
Jesus, that's a long break. All right, what happened?
So, well, 95, I was only 9 years old at that time.
What did you do?
So I was just a passenger, but All for Fun was in Silverton that year.
Okay.
And Silverton is one of my favorite places in all of Colorado. It's
gorgeous, yeah.
The Uray area, Silverton, Telluride, the whole Alpine Loop down there. That's my favorite part of
Oh
Colorado.
yeah, it's awesome.
And so we came out here in 1977, F-350, truck camper, old trailer, and 68 Bronco that's at that time in 95 was highly modified. Lockers, 33-inch tires, which back then you had big tires at 33s.
Oh yeah.
And came out here for All for Fun. I don't remember the trails we ran prior to Black Bear,
Okay.
because I was kind of young at the time. But it came the day that we were going to run Black Bear Pass. And my mom is not a fan of shelf rides. She never was. And Black Bear, she's like, I'm not going on Black Bear, that's you and your dad.
Okay.
And my brother had come out. My brother's significant, he's about 15 years older than me, with his girlfriend at the time. And his 76 Bronco, which is actually now my Bronco. And we decided to do Black Bear. And it was me and my dad driving a 68 with me in the passenger seat. And right behind us was my brother, which with his now fiance. Sorry, I missed a little part of the story.
It's okay.
So they came out to All for Fun, and my brother proposed in Colorado to who is now his wife.
Oh, that's
They've
cute.
been
Yeah.
Married ever after. So this was also Kim's first time wheeling.
Okay.
So we're out here, Colorado, old Broncos,
mid-90s. My brother gets engaged through the week of All for Fun.
Uh-huh.
And I believe it was towards the end of the week we did Black Bear.
Okay.
And we do Black Bear Pass. We get up to the summit, and we're going down, where the shale road is with the kind of the waterfall.
The thing that everybody freaks out about. Yeah.
And we're perfectly fine there. And once again, I'm in passenger seat of my dad's 68. My brother's behind us with his new fiance of like days. And we start to get into the switchbacks. That's where it starts getting a little more technical.
Yep.
And we start going down the first switchback, everything's fine. Start going down the second switchback, and all of a sudden, basically hell breaks loose.
Oh boy.
The brakes in the 68 Bronco had completely failed.
Holy shit.
So
yeah.
I'm sitting passenger seat belted in, the Bronco's got a cage. It was, for the 90s, it was, I want to say well built for what rigs were back then. And I see the look of panic on my dad's face, but given this is, the next part of the story is seconds, but feel like hours.
Right. All these moments always do.
So we're going down the switchback, mountains on the left, and I see my dad start to panic. And he's smashing his foot on the brake pedal to the floor. Nothing's happening. And we're starting to run out of mountain. And
this is right on a runway.
And in front of us is a long way down, if you've ever been on Black Bear. And to the right of us is a long way down.
Yep.
And to the left of us is basically mountain face.
Yeah, there's nowhere to go.
So my dad is smashing the brake pedal with his right foot. His left foot is going for the emergency brake.
Okay.
And he's trying to jam it in the park all at the same time.
Yeah.
But keep in mind, on Black Bear, you don't have a lot of discretionary time to figure out a plan of, holy shit, something went wrong.
Like, that's a really bad place to suddenly have that kind of a failure.
And it was towards the bottom of the switchback. So it wasn't like he was at the top where he had some discretionary time. He was getting towards the end of the switchback.
Right.
And can you swear on a podcast?
What'd you say?
Can you swear on the podcast?
100%.
Okay, so it is literally like a holy shit moment. So,
yeah.
In his thinking, he's like, I'm going to slam the Bronco into the side of the mountain to slow it down.
I mean, it's better than going off of it.
And that was his thought. So he just turns it left and slams into the mountain, hoping that scraping the fender on the left side of the Bronco will slow it down and keep us from launching off basically into the waterfall in front of us. So all of this is happening, and all of a sudden the left front tire grabs. So instead of slamming and slowing us down, the left front tire grabs the mountain and brings us up and over. So we went over and we smashed on the part of the mountain from the switchback to the lower switchback.
Jesus, really?
And then we flipped over again and landed driver's side on the ground with the tires sticking off the edge of the cliff, basically mid-hub line on Black Bear.
And this is an all-for-fun event.
This is all for fun, like 95.
Woo.
If we would have been 2 or 3 more inches over, we would have been completely off the side of the mountains, and I wouldn't be here talking to you today.
I am suddenly no longer surprised about your 20-year hiatus from the event. And I get it. Yeah.
So, and once again, to this day, I can envision that moment in 100% frame by frame, every single thing that happened.
That's the kind of thing that sticks with you, right? Yeah.
I mean, my dad back then had everything bolted down, tried to, keep stuff from flying around, but still, there was shit flying around, glass breaking.
Yeah. It's a chaos moment in those times.
And we're sitting there. We stopped rolling, and we're sitting there. My dad's kind of essentially in shock, kind of frozen. Like, I remember seeing him holding onto the steering wheel, just like death gripping the steering wheel.
Yeah.
And he had like these racing seat belts, like Summit racing seat belts. And so my 9-year-old sense was, holy shit, this is weird. At that time, I didn't have a full totality of what happened.
Yeah, you really don't have a grasp of the gravity of it.
I was completely uninjured. The Bronco cage did its thing. They had a full cage in it, tied into the frame.
Okay.
So nothing happened to me. Well, my first thing was release my seatbelt, because I'm hanging in the Bronco. So that's the only way I got hurt, is when I released the seatbelt, the side window glass that broke, I fell into. And I just had some minor cuts. It was nothing major. But I remember climbing out of the Bronco because the back window had blown out.
Jesus.
because it had a hard top on it.
Yeah.
So I fell to the ground. My dad's still laying there, like I think he was like frozen in shock. I land in the glass, climb through the back of the Bronco, into the back. The Broncos have the lift gate thing on the back.
Yep.
That had popped open, and I remember waving. Like I just remember getting out on the trail, like waving my hands up in the air, and then. Everybody in all for fun back then was CBs. Everybody gets on CBs, like, holy shit, somebody rolled over, and everything. And at that point, my dad climbed out. Everybody stopped, and then it was, holy shit, we have a Bronco with no brakes that's rolled over on Black Bear. Everybody survived.
But we got to get it out.
We got to get it out of there. And after the rollover, I don't remember as much of the recovery. But I do remember the recovery was quite the operation because you first had to winch the Bronco back onto the trail. And once again, on Blackbird, you don't have a lot of trail.
Right.
And then it was, and on the bottom switchback, it was facing the wrong way.
Oh, yeah.
So it had to get turned around. And back then, you didn't have all of these fancy Yankum ropes and all this recovery stuff. It was those old yellow 3-inch toe straps.
Did they even have, were snatch blocks even readily available at that point?
We had snatch blocks and stuff like that. It was all steel winch cable.
Yeah.
So my brother's Bronco was right behind us. It didn't have a winch on it at that time. So that had to get kind of jostled out of the way.
Yeah.
And a commando came down with a guy from All for Fun. And I don't remember the guy's name. And he at that time, I would guess he was in the 70s.
Okay.
And he started helping out, and it was a whole orchestra of winches and cables and everything. And like I said,
it's amazing what some of these guys do with those things.
At that point, things get a little fuzzy. Like I said, my mind remembers 100% of the rollover.
You were how old again?
Like 9.
Yeah.
I can picture the rollover 100%, but the recovery operation was pretty epic, especially for that time.
Yeah.
And then we had to get a truck with no brakes
down the rest of the trail.
It was only like the second switchback down.
Yeah.
And I don't remember how many switchbacks Blackbird has, but there's a lot more than 2. I don't know if it's 10 or 6. I don't know the exact count.
It's probably 6 or 8, somewhere around there.
So,
it's not the most. I think the most that I'm aware of is 13.
So we had to basically take toe straps and shorten them up to like 15 feet. And the Commando was one of them, and I think there was like a CJ in front of it. At least I don't remember 100%, but
that would have been terrifying.
It was an orchestra of using those 2 Jeeps to essentially act as the brakes and throttle of the Bronco, because when it tipped over, obviously the cylinders were full of oil, it wasn't going to run, gas dumped out, it was a whole big deal. But we got it down, and that was the last time my dad ever went wheel.
Really?
He never, I mean, he's still alive, he's 75, but he's never
that was it for him.
That was it. He's still got Broncos, he just bought a new one, but he's never wheeled again. But there's a weird end of the story. On that run, back then, Warren had factory Jeeps back in the early 90s. Mm-hmm. So I remember they had all these YJs.
Okay.
And they were all set up, because back then Warren did axles, and they did all more stuff than do today. They've kind of tapered their product line.
Right.
And in those Warren YJs, they had factory photographers rolling with them. So, unbeknownst to us at that time, these factory photographers caught a lot of the whole operation on Blackbird.
Oh, really?
Of the Bronco being rolled over, the recovery effort, the winching, because they were basically mostly Warren winches. As far as I know, they were all Warren winches, because that's all my dad ever ran.
Yeah.
And that was really, I mean, Warren was the winch, still is the winch they have today.
Yeah.
So,
big names.
We didn't know that it had been photographed by them, because once again, there kind of a lot of stuff going on. We almost died on the trail.
You don't really care about capturing the moment.
So, the way we found out about this was literally about 2 years later. I remember being at the parts store with my dad, and now I was like 10, 11, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
And we were waiting in line to check out. I remember we were getting parts. My mom had this old 90s LTD or something.
Okay.
And we were getting parts for, I believe it was my mom's car. And we're waiting in line, and my dad pulls up this 4-wheel drive magazine, but it wasn't one of the big ones like 4-wheel and off-road, because we had subscriptions, all those back then.
Yeah.
So it was before Facebook and Instagram and all that.
Yeah.
You want to know what's happening in wheeling. Literally, as a kid, I waited every month for
like a Quadratech catalog. Yeah.
Yeah, that was what I lived for. So he grabs this magazine as we're waiting in line at the parts store, and just flips it open randomly. And here is a picture of his Bronco hanging off Black Bear in an article about All for Fun, Black Bear Pass from
Really?
Warren. And there's pictures of his Bronco tipped over or rolled over, my brother's Bronco, the whole recovery effort, everything.
Really? All right, here's the moment where I find that video and I insert it into this moment, here into the video. So yeah, that's really awesome. Do you have all that?
Yeah, so at that point, my dad's like, and then he's looking at it like, what the hell? That's my truck. That's us.
That's me. That was my terrifying moment.
So I
2
don't
years
remember
ago.
if there was like 10 or 15 of that, whatever magazine it was at the time.
Yeah.
But he grabbed the whole stack of them
That's awesome.
and put it on the counter with whatever parts we were grabbing for my mom's car,
Yeah.
and just bought the whole
You
stack.
still have all those copies?
We do.
That's
We
awesome.
gave a couple of friends and stuff because some of our friends from back in the day for All for Fun that were kind of involved in it. I don't remember all the names anymore, but
That's awesome. I was just before you, I was talking with Chris, who's the new historian for the group, and that's probably something he's really going to want to. I'll make sure to connect you guys to me.
yeah, I'll see if I can get him a copy of it. At least I know my dad.
At least like a picture of it. Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, he just grabbed the stack, just kind of put them on the counter at the parts store.
So after all that, then what brought you back in 2016?
So after, like I said, at that time I was not, like 8 or 9, whatever it was at the time we rolled. My dad kind of at that point, his Bronco wasn't completely mangled, but it did need a lot of work after the rollover, and I think it kind of got him out of wheeling. So I,
Certain situations like that can be frightening to the point where it might just you might be done with it. Yeah.
and like I said, at the time when I was so young, I didn't realize the gravity of it.
Right.
But I feel like if I rolled over this all for fun of my daughter in the Bronco, it might be like a life-altering hobby change for me from four-wheeling.
Yeah, exactly.
But-
What's your wheeling style? Like, are you a scenic guy? Or are you a Carnage Canyon guy?
It depends on what Bronco I have.
Okay.
So I have a 76 Bronco that's built. It's on 37s, like RCV fronts, air lockers front rear, 488 gears, bead locks, full cage,
So you can do a lot with it.
fuel injected 302, Terralos in the transfer case. I can do quite a bit. I'm not a buggy, but I'm not a stock rig.
Right.
So I can wheel that pretty hard. But I don't often wheel that one hard when I have the wife and daughter with me.
Yeah.
I'll do some milder stuff, like I've done Holy Cross in it.
Okay.
I didn't do Carnage Canyon, I've done Chinaman's. Stuff like that. We go to some Bronco events. When I come out here, I'm so far away from home
Yeah.
that I don't want to wheel so hard I'm going to break stuff
Yeah.
because I've traveled, it's about a 16-hour drive.
And you're
to get out
not
here.
trailing? I can't remember. Did you say
I'm
you are
trailing.
You are trailing, so at least you got that.
But still, if I broke, I might be down. And the one disadvantage for me being at a Jeep event is I have nobody I can like borrow or steal parts from.
right.
If I go to a Bronco event and I break, somebody might have a spare part in their truck to get me back on here,
They do have a shocker.
but they might not have a Bronco part.
Fair enough.
So when I'm out here, it's more scenic.
Yeah.
When I go to some of those Bronco-specific events, like Oklahoma Classic Bronco Roundup,
Okay.
there I'll get dumb and stand it up. I've had it stood up on the tire carrier with 3 tires in the air, and I've busted
Making
motor
questionable
mounts
decisions
and
about life.
I've launched the engine through the radiator before. I've blown up axles. I've snapped drive shafts. I've done all that kind of stuff.
See,
But,
that's all I try to avoid these days. I don't have the bank account for it anymore.
and doing all the work myself, that's how I
there it
kind of
is.
fund it. I've built all my trucks myself. And
There you go. That's awesome.
this year I came out my '93 Bronco.
Okay.
It was bone stock in the middle of May. It got a 4-inch BDS lift, Aussie locker in the rear, True Track in the front, 488 gears, 35s. I redid the ignition, new fuel pump, new fuel. I did a bunch of stuff to it. But that's kind of my scenic wheeler, like my Colorado Bronco.
That's all right. Yeah. Like, here's the thing. I think that a lot of people get into this sport and they think, oh, you've got to be a hardcore wheeler. You have to do the hardcore stuff, otherwise you're not off-roading. And it's not true at all. Like, there's Mount Princeton and Ontario here, which they're not difficult trails, but they're gorgeous. And you still need a 4x4 to get up them.
Yeah, we did Antero in my '93. The nice thing about that is it has a top and doors. My '76 is set up for wheeling. It's got door inserts, bikini top, cage. it's awesome when you're in Arkansas, like Hot Springs ORV Park, because it's hot out.
Not when you're at 10,000,
Yeah,
12,000 feet and it's 60 degrees.
When you're up there, and also because I've been up there in an early Bronco,
Yeah.
like I was on Mosquito Pass a couple years ago, and I mean all of a sudden it's like it's nice down at All for Fun Base Camp,
Yeah.
and you get up there and the storm rolls through, and it's like 45 degrees up there, 50-mile-an-hour winds.
Not to mention the fact if you get somebody who's afraid of heights and you don't have doors on a shelf road, your wife may never wheel with you again.
A couple years ago, we did Red Cone,
Oh, okay.
and then we did Radical Hill after that.
Oh.
And that is a very, you're slightly off camera on Radical Hill. It's not ridiculous.
No. It's
when
the
you-
blue sky.
But when you're on it, you feel like you're 45 degrees.
Yeah.
I mean, it's probably 3,
Yeah.
but it feels like 45. And then when you're in an early Bronco that has no doors on it, and especially when she's on the outside, and
Yeah.
she can look down and go,
This doesn't look right.
that's a long way down there. It's not a technical trail at all.
No. It's just it's intimidating.
But it's
mentally
it's a mentally technical.
Yeah, for those of you who are not familiar, Radical Hill is next to Red Cone, and essentially it's an the part of Radical Hill that you get up to the top is just an off-camber tip over, and you just kind of got to go over the top, and you can't see shit for a while, and it's terrifying.
Yeah, you just see hood and you see sky,
Yep.
and all of a sudden you're on top, and it's like, oh, well,
you're like, oh, there you're there. It wasn't that
No
it's-
big deal.
It's not that hard. It's not any more difficult than Red Cone.
no, I mean,
It's the mental thing you got to get over.
you could do that in a stock Jeep, stock Bronco,
100%.
stock anything, but
100%. So what are your plans for the rest of the week, man? You got some
So
trails you want to do?
We're doing Browns and Breakneck tomorrow.
Okay.
We did Hancock Pass and Pomeroy Lake,
Okay.
which aren't super technical. They've got a couple little tight spots.
They're on my list. Yeah.
The only problem with them is you're kind of they're very rocky, so you're just kind of bouncing.
Yeah.
It's kind of a kidney buster. You're just kind of bouncing all along the trail.
A lot of the trails in this area are gorgeous, but you get up to this place where it's very just bumpy, and it takes so much physical effort to get through the trail and then get down it. It becomes a bit much. Cool, man. Anything else that you would like to add in here about All for Fun?
No, I mean-
have you been coming now since 2016 every year, or is it just kind of, I don't know?
It's kind of been on and off. Obviously, COVID kind of screwed some things up, and I changed jobs a couple times in there and didn't have vacation and went
Yeah.
to some other Midwest events because it's a little bit of a long haul for me. But I plan on being back next year as long
Yeah.
as everything works out and years to come.
That's where I'm going to be at, man. All right.
It's a great, obviously, family event. I've been coming here for years.
Yeah, I think it's fun to meet so many people who share the same passion. And like you said, it doesn't always have to be the hardcore trails. Sometimes it's just checking out the scenic stuff. And I was talking with Chris here earlier, and he's just like, "Yeah, I've got an older dog, so I'm doing all the kind of mild stuff because the dog can't handle it." Like, so you don't have to. It doesn't have to be the breaking stuff trails.
And All for Fun's great in the sense of you could be a brand new wheeler. You just bought a Jeep last week.
Yeah.
And you can come out here and the trail guides they've got, the tail gunners, all the people along the trail, all the members of the club, and all the people that just come out here like me that aren't members of Mile High. We will get you through the trail, no man left behind.
Yeah.
If somebody breaks, we're going to get you back. If you don't know how to use your Jeep or Bronco or whatever it is, your novice will help you. So It's kind of got everything from you just bought a Jeep last week to you've been wheeling for 40 years. I mean, I met a guy over here before, he's like 90 years old,
Yeah.
wheeling this crazy, insane Samurai on like 40s.
Oh, I know. We were talking about him all day. I got to meet him. Yep.
And it's ever in between, from a guy that's 90 years old who's been wheeling for, I don't know how long, but I'm guessing a very long time,
Yeah.
to, I talked to a guy here who's like, this is his first event ever, so.
Yeah. I really hope that we kind of make this an annual thing. And I think we'll be back here next year to do this. So thank you very much for
Awesome.
stopping by to have a few chat, man.
Thank you, sir.
My name's JD. I'm at the 2024 All for Fun event here in Buena Vista. And this is Mike. Mike, what are you driving?
I am driving a 21 JLU with a diesel, and it's got a 2.5-inch lift, Mopar lift, and 37s on it.
Nice.
KO2s,
That's all right. Okay. It's a good, decent build.
and a little bit of armor.
Well, you know what? I realizing in my later wheeling life, I need to get some more armor underneath it, especially.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, diesels have DEF tanks in the back, And when I was in Moab, we were going over ledges and banging the back end.
Yeah.
And that's right where the DEF tank is.
Yeah.
And I was surprised after I learned all the details that we didn't break it. When your DEF is gone, you're limping.
Yeah. You're barely moving.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. So is this your first Alpha Fun event?
It is my first Alpha Fun.
All right. And are you having a good time?
I am. I'm having a great time.
That's awesome. So are you from Colorado or are you coming in from out of state?
Well, lately I'm from Dallas. I've been in Dallas about 10 years, but I've lived all over the place. So,
Okay.
I've lived in Tulsa, Oklahoma City, Houston 4 times.
Is there something holding you in Dallas, or you like it?
My mom is there,
Okay.
and it's close to my wife's family, so it's a good central place for right now.
Well, you can launch from you can launch off to a lot of good stuff from
Right,
there
it's
too.
just a long way to good trails.
So I have noticed that Texas is a little lacking in that department. It's a lot of just dirt roads.
Yeah.
So, which is fun if you want to do like that Baja stuff, like with these guys over
Right.
here. But
I did Black Gap in Big Bend National Park, which is a badge of honor trail.
okay,
I think it might be a 2 or maybe a 1.
and some of those badge of honor trails I think they're just there to be courteous to everybody who's got a Jeep.
Yeah.
But hey, so each their own. I mapped Engineer, and I got done with it, and I'm just like, really? Like, it's gorgeous. But I don't really consider it, I wouldn't consider it like a tough trail at all. So, have you been here since Saturday?
Yes.
Okay. And what have you run so far in terms of trails?
So we did Hancock Pass, and then that morphed into Tamichi.
Yeah.
So we did those. We did Iron Chest yesterday. And we were supposed to do Grizzly. Well, a lot of people did do Grizzly, but I noticed that anybody with a Jeep that looks like mine had to get winched up the first gate. So I said, yeah.
You're going to stack by here. Yeah. That's what I should have done on Wheeler Lake, is I should have been like, you know what? I watched that LJ really struggle. I should just turn around and go back.
We had a guy with a big red, I think it was a JK. He had 40-plus inch tires and modified suspension, and he bent a tie rod. And I was like, really?
So I right before I came out here, all that work that I had done in there, I had a whole bunch of steering work done. They put in a 1-ton steering kit and everything else. I'm really glad I had that. I think it made a big difference, and I think it's probably why I did not bust anything. So it's the little stuff that counts.
Right.
So what else? What else is on your hit list for the rest of the week?
Tomorrow's Wheeler Lake.
Tomorrow's Wheeler.
And I'm hoping on Friday that I could do Holy Cross if there's enough openings.
Okay.
I sort of doubt that I'll be able to do the last obstacle, but
if you can get as far as you can get, without again, just get as far as you can get without damaging anything, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I've heard the last obstacle you pretty much have to winch. I don't know that.
So what kind of a wheeler are you? Are you like the hardcore kind of a wheeler? Do you like the scenic stuff? What's your...
We're really doing it for the scenery, but I like wheeling, and I like Jeep people.
Yeah.
Jeep people are really great people.
Well, this is a good environment. It's a good environment to push your limits a little bit.
Right.
Because you're usually surrounded by people who have a good idea of what they're doing.
Right.
And, like I did Wheeler Lake, part of the reason why is because I'm like, I wouldn't do that by myself.
Right.
But I did it with a group of people, and now I probably won't ever do it again. But it's a really great opportunity to do that kind of stuff.
Right.
And I think that's the real benefit to these kinds of events.
Well, and with all these trails, if it's 7, 8 or above, you pretty much got to know what line is reasonable, and you watch other people do stuff and you go, oh, I don't want to do that,
Exactly.
But having a group with you, and especially a trail leader who's experienced. I mean, I remember the first time I went up, a really high angle ramp in Moab.
Yeah.
I'm looking at this rock that's just going straight up, and I said, you can't go up that. And the first car went up, and the second car went up, and I'm like, okay, well, I guess that it's possible,
yeah.
So, anyway. So
where's your favorite place to wheel at all these places?
I think I like Colorado better than Moab, just because of the dust level in Moab.
Really? Okay, yeah, makes sense.
We found dust for 18 months after Moab.
Oh, there's still red dirt in there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
So have you been to Moab? Any other like?
We've been to Arkansas to the OHV Park there.
Okay, there you go.
Some Badge of Honor trails.
Yep.
We when we were younger, we did a lot of traveling in Arkansas on roads that we shouldn't have been on with a Mazda, right?
Yeah, that's usually what happens.
Yeah, yeah. So we've Arkansas is not too far away, and we can do some cool trails there and nice stuff.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah. But we like to do a combo, like go to hot springs and do all the touristy stuff, and also do some other things.
Yeah, and I think you know what? That's one of the reasons I started the show is because I realized that there's a lot of people out there that like to do the Holy Cross. That's the thing. Like that's every weekend they want to do that. They want to do the Carnage canyons. They want to do the winch and the whole 9 yards. And I think the vast majority of wheelers are looking for those 3 to 5s and maybe a 6 at the most, and to get out and see some cool stuff and to get to places where normal people don't get to go.
That's right. Well, during the pandemic, we bought my Jeep in the pandemic. That's what I told my wife.
You're a pandemic guy.
Yeah. So we had 2 cruises booked.
Okay.
Both got canceled. Right? And one was to Patagonia.
Right.
And I forget what the other one was, but anyway. And we said, well, what can we do? And I'd had a Jeep before, but we didn't do a lot of wheeling. And I said, well, let's go see cool stuff you can't see if you have a car.
Yeah.
And that's really why we bought the Jeep.
Yeah.
We're sort of still exploring that vein.
Yeah.
Because frankly, my wife is not real into scary stuff. She just wants the scenery.
Yeah, neither is mine. We live in Colorado. My wife hates shelf roads. I've never wheeled in this area before, but it's pretty. I lived in Colorado now for 10 years.
Wow.
The problem is that this is 2 hours from my house. So it's just outside that comfort level to go out, then do a trail, and then come home.
Yeah.
So, but I was messaging the wife just a few minutes ago. I'm like, we're going to find an Airbnb, and you and your mom can hang out, and me and your stepdad are going to go climb Princeton and Terrell.
Yeah. Well, there's lots of touristy stuff downtown Buena Vista to go look at and do, and it's a beautiful place. Nice weather in the summer. I assume in the winter they say the snow is not too bad.
So that was the funniest thing about moving to Colorado that I didn't really expect was the snow doesn't hang around that long. Yeah. Here it's a little bit higher altitude, so it's going to hang out longer. But like in the Denver metro area, we get 24 inches of snow in a day. It'll be gone in 2 days. And it's just a whole different thing. On the other side, though, that does keep people away.
Yeah, well, we lived in Calgary for 3.5 years.
Oh, boy.
And we did an awful lot of stuff in the mountains, not wheeling, but we did a lot of hiking, even in the snow.
Yeah.
And Calgary's the same way. It's on the east side of the mountain, so it really doesn't get that much volume of snow, is Denver. The mountains sort of suck the moisture out of most of the air.
Right.
And then, when you do get snow, it kind of melts in about a week, if that.
Yeah.
So
we talked with somebody from Canada, and that is one of the places I really want to wheel. Like in the British Columbia area, it just looks so gorgeous.
It's beautiful.
So
it's beautiful.
Now that you started jeeping, you got to go back up there and check it out.
Well, yeah, I gotta find some good trails. Though a lot of the places we went, we would go and park and hike for 5 miles or whatever.
I've been trying to recruit that same person to do some scout routes for Trails Off Road for us up there.
Oh.
So, well, that's when we started Trails Off Road, we were looking at ways to get information, and we found that doing a full trail guide is a lot of work. So we started doing the scout routes, so now it's a lot easier to get people in those weird areas. Do a scout route, go check it out. If it's really cool, then we'll go back out and do a trail guide for it.
Right.
So I really want to get up there. Have you seen the guy, The Story Till Now? He's on YouTube.
Yes.
Oh my God.
I've seen a lot of KC250s, and he's connected to those.
Yep, and the videos of the areas that he usually wheels in, it's just so pretty.
The Pacific Trail that he did was really, really cool. Although, because it's Pacific, it's a ton of water.
Yeah.
So if you're not good at going through 3 feet of water,
that's exactly. It's the one time in your life you're like, yeah, I should get the snorkel.
yeah. Well, the snorkel's really for dust, right? I mean,
I could have a whole conversation about snorkels in Colorado. It's Tin Cup is the only place I can imagine that maybe for a week out of the year you might need a snorkel.
So you wheel alone. So here's my question. I was wheeling alone near Aspen. It was one of the trails that went from Aspen to, is it Breckenridge on the other side of the mountain?
Oh, Taylor Pass. Yeah.
Anyway, and I got to the top, and it was the end of July, and it had snow.
Yeah.
So Calgary is the same problem, right? You'll get to the top of a pass, and I mean, probably 4 years out of 5, it'll be covered in snow.
So there's a trail in Colorado that you may or may not have heard of called Red Cone.
Red Cone, yeah, I've heard of it.
So Red Cone connects to a trail called Webster Pass and Handcart Gulch. And Handcart, the thing about Red Cone is when you get to the top, it's one way when you get down to go down to Webster Pass and to Handcart. The side of Handcart that goes back towards where everybody parks is usually buried in snow, and it's buried in snow now. In fact, I just saw something on Instagram or Facebook, a side-by-side managed to get through.
Oh, wow.
And it's almost August. Usually, sometime in mid-July, like a group of 30 well-intentioned people will go up there with shovels and just shovel the hell out of it. Nobody did that this year, and it looks like it's going to be probably next week before it finally opens.
But because you're solo,
Oh, that's right. You were asking me that.
you must have satellite radio or something in case there's an emergency. What do you do?
So 100%, and we talk about that on this show on a regular basis, and I will continue to talk about that on the show until the end of goddamn time. Well, I get a lot of shit. Every time I say that I'm a solo wheeler, I hear, oh, you shouldn't go out by yourself, and there's a lot of things you shouldn't do by yourself wheeling. I'm not doing those things. But I do carry a satellite messenger. It is the best $15 a month I can spend. You get the SAR rescue and the SOS button and the whole 9 yards. But I'm not doing Carnage Canyon by myself.
Right.
I'm not doing that stuff where I know I'm going to have to winch. I got that because it might be an emergency. I never had to use it. I hope I never have to use it. I did get the one with the two-way messenger so I can message my wife and be like, I'm still fine. I have not rolled over or anything. I'm still good to go. But I'm a big advocate for the messengers. I feel it's cheap. It's cheap protection. It's cheap peace of mind for everybody. And I think there are more people wheeling by themselves than wheeling in these like large groups.
Yeah.
And I don't think enough people acknowledge it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I tell people. Get a satellite messenger. Do you have one?
Not yet.
Well, you better get one.
Well, I looked into satellite phones and how to get satellite on my iPhone, yada yada. So I'm glad that you've got a solution that's not too expensive.
It's not. The upfront device cost was a bit much. I think it was $200 or something like that. But they now do the monthly, so it's a lot cheaper to just do it that way. But I will say this: iPhone. I think the next iPhone is supposed to have all that crap built into it, and like standard. Like you don't have to do anything special to get it on your phone or anything like that. It's gonna do a lot of damage to companies like Garmin and stuff like that. But it's gonna make it a lot more accessible for everybody else. So, which is good and bad, right? Like, I'm kind of the opinion where I love the new technology. I love the new JLs and all the crap they can do, but I also realize there's a whole lot of people getting out there that don't know how to use it.
Right.
It's always good and bad.
Yep.
All right, so what are your plans for the rest of the week, man?
So the big deal is to see if we can do Holy Cross on Friday.
Okay.
It's a little bit difficult at the All for Fun because there's only 9 allowed and there's 2 groups of 9.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm going to have to get in line at like 5.
I mean, yeah, it's seriously. Are you staying through the whole thing? You staying till
we're
Saturday?
We're leaving Saturday. So
All right. Well, good on you, man.
it's 11.5-hour drive, so it's a full
Good
day
Lord,
Saturday.
yeah. So you're going to early, are you driving straight through?
Yeah. We took 2 days to get here. We stayed in Raton on the way. And
That's a ballsy thing to say you're going to do. It's the deadhead all the way home.
yeah.
Some caffeine pills in the future.
Yeah. Well, it'll be fine.
Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah.
All right.
My rear end will complain.
I'm sure. I'm very sure. All right, man. Well, thank you very much. I really appreciate you sitting
bet.
down with me.
You bet.
So, are you on Instagram or anything like that?
No.
Nothing to plug?
No.
No, that's all right. I just interviewed a 9-year-old who had a Twitch stream to plug. I was kind of like, what?
Wow.
He was a really good interview, though. So, hey, it worked.
No, I'm happily retired, and I don't have any. I mean, I have accounts, but I don't care.
Yeah, I get it. Well, thank you very much for coming on the show, man.
Nice to meet you, JD.
Nice to meet you. Hey, everybody, it's JD. I'm at my, 19th, 20th interview so far.
There you go.
Well, I mean, we had an interview. I interviewed a 9-year-old a little earlier, and
Oh, I saw some competition then. Okay.
I mean, seriously. So I had this conversation with him, and I'm like, this kid's doing really well, and all of a sudden he's like, yeah, I'm a Twitch streamer. I was like, oh, damn it, no wonder. Like, you're better at this than I am.
He's a pro.
Yeah, exactly. All right, well, welcome to the show, Chris. It's nice to have you, sir.
Cheers. Pleasure to be
Cheers.
here. Absolutely.
So, is this your first All for Fun event?
Fourth.
Fourth All for
Yeah.
Fun event. Are you from Colorado, or are you...
Born and raised in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Nice.
Moved to Colorado because I love Colorado.
Fair enough.
And part of Mile High Jeep Club.
Yeah.
I was actually promotions chair for the last 2 years.
Okay.
And then this year decided too much. I'll just do trails and
Oh, that's why. All right, so let's show this real quick to get it out of the way then. So apparently Chris just wanted to get out of the committee so he could win the Best in Show. This is a really, I gotta tell you, this is an awesome, like, it's really pretty.
Thunder Ridge Designs.
Thunder Ridge Designs.
Did a
Like, it's
fantastic
a
job.
It's a really pretty, it's all metal. It's solid AF. So I'll give that back to you, I swear.
Glory. I know.
Awesome. So what are you driving?
2020 Gladiator.
All right.
Bone stock.
I don't believe you for a
Oh,
moment.
okay.
Okay.
It's a 2020 Gladiator with a 4-inch Evo lift with 1 ton Curry Extreme axles. My favorite part is the America's Most Wanted Hemi swap.
You're not. So our two of our hosts, Pope and Randy, he just did that to
Yeah?
his. He just had the American 4x4 swap out into 392.
Oh man,
He's very
got
happy
power.
with it. He is very, very happy with it.
but I'm fighting for 11 miles per gallon. Like, that's a good day.
I mean, well, you make choices, right? Like
Yes.
you decided, like, hey, I'm gonna get this big ass vehicle with this big ass engine.
Yes.
But I mean, you have fun with it, right?
Oh, absolutely. Are you kidding me?
And I believe the question was asked earlier: how many tickets?
None.
Really?
I don't want the attention. I hang back. But we have the mountains too, so if I'm towing the mountains, she's not built to tow.
At least you got the power to go with it.
Yeah.
So, what have you been here since Saturday?
Yep, we got in Saturday late.
Yeah, late on Saturday. Okay,
Yep.
nice. And what are your trail levels this week, or what have you been doing? And I know you're gonna because everybody in the brother has been telling me that Holy Cross, Carnage Canyon. Have you not done anything? Like, I'm getting a real weird vibe from you right now, and I like it.
So, I live here. We're 2 hours from my house.
So you're in Colorado Springs.
Denver.
Okay.
So, I don't think I've done above a 4 yet this week.
Good for you.
I can do Holy Cross anytime.
Yeah.
We're doing Wheeler tomorrow, which
Wheeler.
is, I think it's a 5.
It's a 5. You know what? Honestly, let me. As the person who writes for Trails Off Road, I disagree with the person who wrote that, and I think it's a 6.8. But that's okay.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, hardcore. It's hardcore.
It's definitely not a 5.7.
So here's the deal: it's what I love about the Jeep community is when you want to, you push yourself, you test yourself.
Yeah.
You wear your brown pants.
Exactly.
When you don't want to, you go out and enjoy the beautiful Colorado mountains.
Yeah.
So this week, I've actually got my parents here,
Nice.
and
How you doing?
they don't quite do as much as we do out here.
Yeah.
So we picked some easier trails, and I'm having a blast.
I mean, honestly, I tell people this all the time. Like, that's my favorite thing to do in Colorado is just the pretty trails. Like, yeah, there's a lot of hardcore stuff that you can get into if you really want to,
Yes.
but you can also go to Moab or someplace that's like, like a sand hollow that's really kind of
absolutely.
dedicated for that. This
Absolutely.
place, I just love getting up to 14,000 feet and looking out.
The views are spectacular, even through the smoke. Thank you, Utah.
Yeah, no kidding, right?
Even through the smoke, it's heaven.
Yeah.
We drive out to our little slices of heaven.
So what's your favorite one that you did this week then?
So far this week, what we did was Hancock Pass, Hancock Lake, and in Pomeroy.
Pomeroy?
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
Did a trifecta there, and it was gorgeous.
Yeah.
Absolutely beautiful.
I think next year I gotta spend less time doing this and doing more time doing trails.
I mean, I'll bring Starlink out. You can stream from the trail there.
So how long have you been wheeling in general?
My second vehicle was a YJ,
Okay.
and again, born and raised in Las Vegas. Saw nothing but dirt roads. I thought I was badass. Somebody else had built it up with, I think it was 33s, 11-inch wide with a body lift. Drove it to Colorado to visit family. And anytime it extended, the airlock front differential pulled out and had to reconnect that.
Oh my God.
And that was my connection to Jeeping. And my parents will absolutely affirm that it was, when I had that YJ, especially in Vegas, different weather,
Yes.
no roof, no windows, no doors, all year round.
Oof.
That was the rule.
Oof,
That was buy a bigger jacket in January, but that's Jeep life.
What
Like
the hell
there's
you do when it's
nothing like this.
Yeah, but what the hell you do when it's 118 degrees out there, though? Like, we went out there,
Oh,
and
it's
my
not-
wife's heels were sinking into the asphalt.
Not like the AC works. You know those little neck gaiters that like you put in
Yeah.
cold water?
Yeah, I don't believe that bullshit either. That's not really gonna help you out.
I kid you not, I picked my route to go by areas that I knew were watering their lawns, their grasses, like golf courses and stuff. I kid you
Just
not.
to get a little bit of a
10
mist.
degrees cooler. It was totally worth
I
it.
mean, hey, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yes, it's Jeep life, man.
There you go.
You know.
So, let's talk. What's your favorite trail overall? Like, it doesn't have to be Colorado. Doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be like Moab or anything. Like, it could be some weird, obscure. In fact, I prefer weird, obscure.
I'm gonna give you the argument first.
Okay.
It's tough to pick one
100%.
because it's you go out like I like this for this reason, I like this for this reason, totally.
Yep.
But I love Moab. I love Hell's Gate.
Really?
It's
Okay.
just, it's not that it's the hardest. It's not that it's the craziest. It's just fun.
Was it like one of the first ones that you did?
Oh, totally, 100%.
And I think
Yep,
that's where
yep.
it's at. Like,
So, in 2019, I had a 2019 Wrangler Rubicon 4-door, and that was my first introduction to the Mile High Jeep Club.
okay.
Was their Vic Padilla's Memorial Madness in Moab.
Oh, okay.
Just for Patrol 2.
Okay.
Patrol 2 went out there, and I went out there camping with my little tiny camper, and I met people for the first time,
Yeah.
and got to ride with them out there, got to really experience Jeep life. I had a Jeep before, right? Like I had a Jeep, I'd gone out like I'm cool, and then I meet actual Jeepers, like, oh, dirt roads are just dirt roads, cowboy.
Right,
There's a rating system,
Right.
and
There's a whole
met them,
situation here.
brought me into the community. Like being in the Jeep community is just a blessing.
I think that's the thing that I've been taking away. Like, this is my first All for Fun,
Oh man,
and it's been like I am, and I've told this to other people, and I'll continue to say it. I'm a Trails Off-Road guy. I've been
Yeah.
riding for them for 8 years. So
Yeah.
when you do that, you tend to be a solo wheeler a lot. And now that I'm getting long in the tooth, so to speak, with a lot of those trail guides, I can get out and do more of these group runs. It's so much fun.
Yes.
It's so much fun to get out and learn from other people. You
Yes.
know, like I did Wheeler Lake the first day I was here.
oh nice.
I-
We're doing that tomorrow.
I would not have done it by myself.
I hope not.
No.
No.
But for a whole host of reasons,
Yeah.
not just because I don't believe it's a 5 and 7, but because it's just beyond that level of comfort. But these
Yes.
things are a situation that allows you to really dial in and see and get with other people who know it,
Yes.
and then can get you through it so that you can build up that confidence level so that you can go back and do it. Would I do Wheeler Lake again? Maybe not. It was gorgeous and it was really pretty, but I have the confidence to do that kind of
Yeah.
a trail again, even if it's not with a big group.
We, in Patrol 2 Mile High Jeep Club, we have such amazing people. I have the confidence because I have spotters
Yeah.
that have decades of experience.
Yeah. Especially on some of these specific obstacles
Yes.
too. Yeah.
Yes. And they've seen it change over the years.
Yeah.
Obstacles change.
Yeah, no kidding.
Oh man. So I trust the guy, the spotter in front of me. I trust them when they're saying I'm not making decisions.
Right.
They tell me to turn, I turn. They can tell me to gas, I gas.
Yep.
I trust them with it. You should see some of the pictures of the last Jeep. I mean, 2 wheels
Yeah.
up there. I had one of my buddies in the patrol holding my bumper, and he pushed it over.
Hey, hang on a second here. I'm going to say this one more time because I've said this a lot of times on this show. You are not going to hold a Jeep down. You are not going to hold a Jeep up. You cannot stop a Jeep from rolling most of the time.
I mean, that's true.
Yeah, that's just a safety thing.
But I'll show you that picture.
And I will share it right now. There you go.
But it's trusting. It's having people you trust with you. I mean, I had a drive shaft fall out on the freeway here in town.
Jesus Christ, really?
Absolutely. because on the new rig, because it hadn't been tested at full flex, the U-joint was rubbing against itself, shattered on the freeway. Called up some friends, they said, why didn't you call sooner? Jeep community, there's nothing like it. There's nothing like it. I want every Jeeper, if you have a Jeep, if you have a 4x4, join a club.
Yeah, it doesn't like Mile High Jeep Club is. I know Jeep is in the name, but they don't really care.
That's true.
They don't really care. Like, there's somebody. We had a 4Runner on our couple of runs today, and he wanted to have a Jeep in time for the event, but it didn't happen. Yeah. But I don't think they care.
The Bronco that won earlier was on my trail yesterday.
There you go.
Had a great time.
Yeah.
And we had a blast.
I tell people all the time, bring what you like to wheel.
Yes.
Just wheel.
Yes.
Just get out there, explore.
Yes.
Find stuff that you like. Find stuff that's off the beaten path.
I literally joined the community. I joined them and said, look, I know nothing. There's no ego here.
Yeah. I think
what's this part right here? What's this component?
Yeah.
What should I do here?
Yeah, I think that's one of the nice things about this too, is that I haven't felt a whole lot of ego.
No.
Nobody's here to posture, nobody's here to make themselves, out to be better. Everybody's here just to help everybody, and I think that's probably the takeaway for a lot of folks.
Yeah.
So it's just awesome.
I hope so.
Cool.
I really do. The community is amazing.
Yeah. So what's up for you for the rest of the week? You got Wheeler Lake. And,
we're gonna go big. We're gonna go big.
You're gonna go big on Wheeler Lake with your 392 and your brand new drive shaft.
Friday, I'm leading Bald Mountain, which I kind of have to.
I know. I'm
yes.
here for you. See, that's the one that's got the Verizon tower on it.
Oh, is it? All right, I'm gonna start streaming. We'll figure it out.
All the way up and all the way. It's actually pretty. It's a nice.
It's a 3.
It's a very
simple,
3. It's a very easy trail.
Maybe it's a 3.
Barely a 3, but yes, it is a 3.
But that's just it. Like, you go out and you have fun. It was actually one of my best friends in the club that can do way more than me.
Yeah.
And he said, I stopped having fun at 7s.
Yeah.
I do up to 7s. Like,
yeah.
Wait, you can do that?
Yeah.
You can just decide?
Yeah. I stopped having fun at 6. That's where I'm at.
Yeah.
I'm done. It's no longer fun.
Then it's too much pucker factor. I can feel my heart rate go up. Too much tension.
I still want to be able to drive this bitch home.
I got to tow a camper home. I can't afford a flatbed with both of them.
Yeah, exactly. My funds are real stretched at this point.
Yes.
Well, that's awesome, though. All right. Well, good deal, man. Anything else that you want to add in here before we go?
No, I appreciate you having me on. I appreciate being here, being part of the community.
I really appreciate you you coming on, and I'm really looking forward to. Well, I mean, by the time this airs, you all are going to be hearing it, but I'm looking forward to cutting all these interviews together because I think it's going to be a really good show for this.
Oh, that's awesome.
So, awesome, man. Thank you very much for coming, man.
All right, buddy.
Awesome, bro. Awesome. We are at All for Fun 2024, and I'm here with Spencer. How you doing, man?
Doing well. Having fun.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What have you been doing for the last couple days?
Doing a couple trails, hanging out with my son and my dad, and enjoying the community, really.
Yeah. Is this your first All for Fun event?
It is my first All for Fun.
I found a lot of first timers here. I mean, I'm a first timer, so it's a different wheeling experience.
It is. I've done some other events, and I heard about this one 3-4 years ago, and people raved about it, and I had to check it out. So
I think it's the organizers and the way that they put it together. It really makes a big difference when.
I think it's a local club doing it. It's a family of people doing it that make it a really fun environment where it's not as much of a corporate or other type of feel to it.
Yeah, I think maybe that's part of it, that they're really trying to kind of keep the corporate level of it down.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, there's tons of vendors here today, but
there's sponsors and whatnot. But
it doesn't feel.
It's Jeepers at the core that are designing and providing this experience for everybody.
It doesn't feel like anybody's trying to sell me something.
No, not at all.
So where are you from?
I was born and raised here in Colorado. Grew up down the road from Buena Vista and Alamosa.
Okay.
But right now, been living in Arkansas for the last 6 years. Yeah, way out there.
I can't get behind the humidity. I think we talked about this.
It's rough. There's hot days and you can't get out of the heat, but it's been good for me and my family, so I can't complain.
Yeah, that's all right. I mean, there's that. So it's family culture, if that's what you're looking for.
There's the whole side of it that unexpectedly we've really enjoyed it. It's turned out to be a great place, and setting down roots and a little farther away from mountains and colder weather that I like as well, but
But you know, at least when you're older, you can actually travel to that, and you can be part of it.
It affords us the ability to travel and do things where, you know, it's great.
So out of all the trails you did here, which one you got a standout one for this trip?
They've all been great, and so they've all been a little bit different. And first day I did Wheeler Pass, more scenic. Obstacles weren't anything like over the top, but still fun and challenging. But scenic views are just, you know, great, awesome. And Chinaman's Gulch was great, challenging. I did Holy Cross yesterday, which has been on my bucket list for a while, and got up and down that one.
You're just one of those guys that just goes on all the trails where I'm thinking I'm going to break something, because I will break something.
I don't get a Jeep very often, so when I do, I want to get after it, and I like testing the limits of my Jeep or my skill, like as a driver. So I like to get after it a little bit.
I like to test the limits too, man. But
it's within reason. You know, I'm driving with my son, and so I'm.
Are you trailered?
Yeah,
that's why.
Yeah,
see,
coming from Arkansas, I wouldn't be going up into Holy Cross and Chinaman's Gulch if I didn't have a trailer. I actually broke a bearing, so that's getting fixed today, and like just that safety piece of, you know, I can trailer at home still. It's huge. So
yeah, I mean that was one of the things I was kind of surprised about. Like there's a shop on site.
That's awesome. Like I'd be done with the event if I didn't have that shop on site, and so
yeah, like I thought they'd send up like a big tent for like the committee members and everything else, because it had looked like a party tent. I drove by there. Nope, there's 2 Jeeps in there. They're working on that shit at night.
One of them's mine, probably. Yeah. So they're super friendly, super nice guys, and straight to the point. This is what's wrong. We can fix it now, get you back on the trail, or we can just button it up and send it home to your personal mechanic and go from there. And so super cool guys. So I've never been to an event where they've had a mechanic on shop, or on site. And granted, I've never been to an event that's 6-7 days long too, but
that's the other thing too.
But I think it makes total sense.
And I wonder, I don't know about Trail Hero, but I wonder if I assume that they've got people there. Like that's such a giant event that there's got to be somebody there that can.
I've only heard about it. I don't know much, but it's super convenient because I'd be done if I didn't have them over there. So we're scrambling, calling around, and trying to YouTube it, see if I can fix it on my own, and
then you find like,
and then I break 2 other things trying to fix what I originally broke, and that's just my mechanic.
I try not to touch any of that stuff,
but it's been super cool.
I'm assume I'm going to break it. So you
fix it right because I fixed it twice.
Yeah, exactly. So are you staying for the whole week? Are you leaving early?
Yeah, most likely I'll be here for the whole week.
Okay.
Wasn't quite sure how long I'd stick around, but I've been enjoying it. So definitely will be.
What you got left on your list of trails you want to try?
I don't know. My dad and I have been talking. Iron Chest and Grizzly Lake have been on there. We might want to do something a little more relaxing. There's a nice mountain scenic kind of.
Iron Chest just seems like every time I hear Iron Chest and I hear Broken. That's what
really?
I hear a lot of.
So we was talking to one guy that led us through Chinaman's Gulch and High Country Off Road, saying if you can do Chinaman's Gulch, it's not bad at all.
Okay.
Compared to that, it's one entry, your obstacle into it's a little intense, but once you get past that, it's just shale roads. So.
We also have to level set here. You called Wheeler Lake a scenic, easy day, and I would disagree with that, and Frankie's bumper would disagree with that as well.
There's some nice obstacles. That's what's great about it. There's 3 or 4 good obstacles, and the rest was pretty easy, like bouldering and stuff. So that was like a perfect combination of.
I think it would have been. I think it would have been okay just without that one notch, and then the whole thing.
Yeah, you did good in that notch, though. I mean, you held it together when I thought you were tipping. And
well, I'll tell you what. Here's the part where the fun editing part, where I'm going to cut in the clip of me doing that, so you all can see that.
It was gnarly. It was intense. He didn't flinch, and I puckered, and I was like, I was holding my breath, and
in that moment,
steady, yeah.
I try if I let the panic take over me, I'm done.
Oh shoot!
So
you're good. I don't know if you had a lot of experience in that moment, but
I didn't.
You handled it very well.
It's one of those ones where spotting requires a really good spotter.
Yeah.
And my spotter was okay.
Yeah.
But you got to just pay attention, and if you're paying attention and
you stopped right when you needed to before you went too far. And then you waited.
Mostly. I got that driver tire a little funky though, but good. It worked out. It worked out.
I mean, you got out of it and you got up it, and That was an experience. That's an adventure.
It was a good one, though.
Yeah.
I didn't break anything. I didn't hit any...
2-door short wheelbase, you'll see that pop up, and
that's the thing, is like all you guys everybody with the 4-doors went right through there without a problem,
Yeah.
and then the LJ had an issue, and then I had a little bit of
I went
slack.
back and did it after we had finished the trail.
Oh yeah, you
and-
guys hung around for a while.
Yeah, we played on that obstacle and hit a couple different lines on the far left side.
Yeah.
And also, I went back up that V-notch, and I mean, yeah, it's tipsy.
Yeah. I think it may have
even
been
along
just
the
wet
wheelbase.
tires. Like everybody had wet tires, were slipping a little bit.
Yeah, there's a lot of slip on that, but I think placement and getting your tires where they should have been before it was too late, because once you got too late, you were pinned down in there like that.
I really like Frankie, but she really Austin powered herself.
Oh yeah.
And like
She
at
got
that
in
point,
there.
she was just like, "You're not getting out of
She
there."
was stuck. That's a tight place right there, man.
You're just wedged in. You're part of the
Yeah.
obstacle now.
Yeah. It was
Yeah,
a drive shaft or.
I was terrified that we were going to break something pulling her out of there.
Yeah.
So
I saw it grinding and rubbing. Yeah. No, get off the pedal. Just let the winch.
Just let it go.
Yeah.
Just let it go.
You let the winch get it up. So.
Well, that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I hope you get. I think the only thing I don't like is the lottery system for the trails here.
That is a little challenging for me. Coming from Arkansas, that's a 14-hour drive. 18-hour drive was what took us total.
Yeah.
And I had no idea what trails were going to be offered. That was I didn't know what was going to be there. I've heard it's great, and so I gave it a chance. But I didn't come for the scenic, mountain roads course trails. And I wanted to do some technical climbing.
Yeah.
So that was a little nerve-wracking for me, not knowing what was going to be offered. And
yeah.
I think there's limitations on the event side based off what permits they get approved and things of that nature.
Yeah, in Colorado, they tend to drag their feet on that stuff. So they're not going to post a list till they have all the permits.
Yeah, so I can see that standpoint. But getting into the right trails, I mean, you open up at 6 o'clock for trail signups. I was here at 5:10 to sign up on Holy Cross, and I was number 10 or 11 in line when there's only 18 allowed.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'd like to see like
tricky.
a lottery system, like maybe
I
just
think
putting a bucket in. But
I don't know if you have a system where you just choose your top 5 trails and then it's just a lottery that assigns you what trails you want to do on certain days.
Yeah, and without giving out too much, because I can always cut this out of the final show.
Yeah.
But Ryan Boudreau, who came by here, we were talking about that too, and he's like, the first step in getting that into that kind of a system would be digitizing them, so we have them all for trails off road now. So maybe.
That might be future. I mean, granted, I'm just, spectator, consumer.
Yeah.
I don't want to be at that level making decisions.
No.
I'm not that,
you're
not that
good.
kind of person, but
but I'd love to see, I'd love to just be able to say, hey, I want to do Tin Cup, and I want to do this, and I want to do that, and I don't want to stand in line only to get told no.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
But I understand. I also understand why they've been doing it that way until now. So.
Yeah, I mean, they've been doing it for 50 years, and so
there's something to it, right? It's got to work at some level.
They've tried. I'm assuming they've tried multiple different ways of signups, and
they have.
And there's no perfect way to do it.
No,
I think so, but
but it is. It was a really good collection of trails when they released them.
Yeah,
a nice mixture of scenic and easy
it's
stuff.
Great.
And
so it's everything I've wanted. And
honestly, I think one of the really nice parts about this is that you come out to this event. If you want to do one of those trails, you can.
Yeah.
You can also just grab 2 or 3 buddies that you just met and go check out that trail that's off to the side that nobody knows about.
Absolutely, yeah. I did that this morning. Me and a friend took a ride up Mount Princeton.
There you go.
And it was just an easier trail and 12,000 some feet and looking over everything. So, you have opportunities. You meet people, and if you didn't get your chance to run the trail you need, and
really,
you can find people that would be.
I think I might try to sneak up Mount Princeton tomorrow.
Oh, it's great.
It's right up my alley. I know it is. So it's my drone crashed, so I won't be able to take any drone video.
Oh no.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what happened.
Like physical crash or like the.
Oh yeah, it was flying, and then it said you have a motor problem attempting to land, and then it just fell out the sky. So I was able to recover it.
That stinks.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to hear that.
It's all right. I actually have 2 drones. One's already being repaired because it was crashed. So now I have to get this one repaired. But it's all right. It is what it is. I don't do the technical obstacle stuff. So when my video is all about the scenic stuff. So
that's cool. That's huge. It's great. Like I love it too. So I'm a fan of it all.
Good, man. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you very much for sitting
thanks
down,
for coming.
man.
It's been good.
That's
good
awesome.
with you.
See, I told you this wasn't that hard.
Awesome, man. Spencer, thanks a lot for sitting with me. This is JD, and we're here at the Alpha Fun event, Mile High Jeep Club's annual event here in Buena Vista, and I believe we have our youngest interviewer here. This is Wyatt. How you doing, Wyatt?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing all right, man. How long have you?
I've been here since Saturday.
Saturday, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Been doing good trails.
Yes, sir.
What kind of trails?
Wheeler Lake, Holy Cross, and Carnage.
Oh, you did Carnage, really?
We didn't do like the hard part because we have a 4-door. And
the 4-door couldn't make it?
It probably wouldn't.
Okay.
And also, we're running 37s.
Okay. That's not terrible, but for that's a hard trail, man. There's a reason why they call it Carnage, right? Everybody breaks something on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I found 2 hood latches.
Hood latches? How do you lose a hood latch?
I don't know. But I think the most interesting trail was Holy Cross because I found maybe over 20 bullet shells.
Oh, really? Like the bullet? Okay, yeah.
And also I found 1 bullet that wasn't even shot.
Oh, that's not good.
I know.
That's not good. There's some places you can shoot, but I don't know if you can shoot up there technically.
No, you can't, but
it's not always somebody to make sure nobody's doing it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I also found a 45 caliber bullet.
Damn. All right. Well, at least you've been cleaning stuff up.
Yeah. And also, yesterday at Wheeler Lake, the snow was melted, so I was going up in the snow, and I found, those old World War II German pistols, the Luger.
Really?
Yeah, I found one, but guess what? I slipped and I think I dropped it.
Oh, that's.
Hey, but also, somewhere over there, I found a 223.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Already shot, and I'm like, that's weird.
It is and it isn't. This area it kind of makes sense for me. So.
Yeah.
So what else you been doing other than trails while you're out here?
Today we went whitewater rafting.
Really? That's fun.
Yeah. Yes.
I noticed that there's a ton of those places down the road down there.
And it was 40-degree water.
it's all snow melt. Yeah, it's cold. Did you fall?
I didn't fall. I jumped in and just did a plunge, and then when we were almost done, I jumped in, and I was trying to climb back up because there's like a shock that just goes through your body.
Yeah.
And then once you get used to it, you're like, okay. And I literally just swam over there with a life jacket on.
Nice.
But it was the worst because it was so
takes your breath away, right?
No, it wasn't taking my breath away. It was in the the water shoes. It was everywhere, and I'm like, when I got on shore, I'm like, I was just frozen.
Yeah, it's cold. We were out with one of the guys from the High Country 4x4, and he jumped in one of the lakes, and he immediately regretted it.
Yeah, but also it's been very interesting for me at All for Fun.
Yeah.
And this is my first time even down here or at All for Fun.
Out of everything that you've done so far this week, what's your favorite part of it?
The wheeling part.
The wheeling part? Okay, let's be more specific then. What's your favorite trail out of all of those then?
Wheeler Lake, but if we're talking not here, it's
tell me what you like.
It's called Windrock.
Oh, okay. I should have asked this before. Where are you from?
Nashville, Tennessee.
Oh, you came a long way for this then.
Yeah.
All right.
But when we go there, we normally do it's not as a lot of trails here are just not as hard.
Right.
For us.
Yeah.
But then when we're at Windrock, it's actually we might have to winch, and here we do not.
Yeah, I mean,
or at least not yet, I should say.
well, I'm kind of surprised that you hadn't yet. We had to winch somebody on Wheeler Lake.
Oh yeah, a ton of people were doing that, and our guide, you know that like V notch.
Yeah,
you know
that's where we had trouble.
You know how people call like where that tiny like pond is?
Yep.
You know how they call that the buggy trail? It's not.
No.
And I'm like, it's why? Why call it a buggy trail if it's not going to be a buggy trail?
I think for some people it feels like that. So the rumor starts, and at the least it keeps people off of it. More fun for you.
Yeah. I also heard about that Holy Cross group.
Yeah.
That was there for 12 hours.
They spent the whole day.
Oh yeah. So when I was whitewater rafting, we actually met some people that were from that group. And they told us that some other group got in, just went like where there isn't even a trail. But I don't understand why people are like, oh, we want the hard trails because somebody actually was leaking fluid, and I'm like,
It
really?
depends. I mean, what are your favorite kind of trails? Are you like the harder trails? Or you like the more scenic trails?
Here, I like the more scenic trails, but
you like
everywhere
the harder
else,
stuff
I like.
You like, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, that's fair.
But also, if you don't go down the Carnage and you just keep on, and you go back, you turn around, and you don't go down, you go down the way you came, and then you go, and then you just keep on going on the trail. One of our friends, his name Eric, he's the guy who's doing the Torque Master.
Okay, yeah.
He actually started leaking fluid because
like power fluids by series fluid.
Because he tried to hit the rock. He hit the rock so hard that just gave up.
Oh, I've had that happen.
And I'm like, dang.
Some people like to send it really hard, man. I don't know why they like to do it here, but hey, to each their own. So how old are you?
I'm 10.
You're 10, so you got, 4 years before you can get a permit? I don't know, what's the rules in Nashville? When can you start driving?
5 more years.
Okay.
Or that's with a guardian, but without a guardian, you have to be 16.
Be 16? Okay. Well, at least you get a lot of experience to see what not to do.
Yeah. It's very interesting with some people because at Wheeler Lake, we had this one guy, old guy, didn't talk really much, but he would go, and then he's a 2-door. We're 4-door. He backs up more than 20 times, so we named him Backup Bobby.
Backup Bobby, nice.
And then, but when we got to the lake, you know that fence that surrounds it? Yeah, he hit that. I'm like, I wish I got that on video.
That would have been amazing.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. All right. So you got any, I don't know if I asked you this already, but do you have any trails that you want to hit before the end of the week? What are you trying to get in line for today?
I don't know.
You just along for the ride?
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably maybe, I know we're doing Iron Chest on Friday.
Okay. That's another, you guys really like to go for the harder ones, man. It's all right.
We haven't even winched once this time.
Yeah, that's good though.
And there's been Jeeps that are 2-doors that have 40s and they can even crawl up.
Well,
and,
yeah.
And then they just watch us just.
I've been a little. I have a 2-door. That's my 2-door out there, and a yellow one right there.
Ah.
And he can get into a lot of places, but he has trouble sometimes in those places where the long wheelbase would help.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
But also, it's on some parts, I think the best part at Wheeler Lake is you might see a moose. Yesterday we saw a moose.
We saw a moose, and we saw some sheep there too.
Really?
Yeah, but they were way off. Like they were very far off. I had to get my big lens out to find them. But you can see them. It's the fun part about. I mean, that's the fun part about living out this way. If I'm being honest.
Yeah.
So.
I kind of want to live out here, but also kind of don't because me and my dad went into town, and we did not we went around. There's not like much.
Buena Vista's kind of small. You got to get into like the Denver area, and you can get some more stuff. But yeah.
I stream on Twitch.
Do you?
Yeah.
That's fun.
I have 5 followers.
Okay. What's your Twitch handle?
Rainmaker Jr. 1201.
All right, we'll add that to the show, so you hope maybe you'll get a couple extra followers out of it. Thank you. All right, what were we talking about?
I have no idea.
All right. Well, so this is your first time out here.
Yes.
You're gonna come back next year?
Might not. I don't know.
You're gonna try to convince the parents to do so? It's gonna be in a different location. It won't be the same spot. Probably. Rumor has it. We don't have any live washers now, but rumor has it it's going to be Ure. So Engineer Pass and all those kind of famous Black Bear Pass, all those big trails out there.
Also, might want to try Grizzly Lake or whatever.
Grizzly Lake. Okay, yeah. So Wyatt here, I think, as being my youngest ever interviewer in the podcast. Hopefully we'll just have him keep coming back, and you want to keep coming back every year until you get a license?
Hopefully.
All right. Cool.
I'm in a podcast.
If you're in a podcast, follow him on Twitch. All right, Wyatt, thanks so much for coming on the show, man.
Problem.
All right. We are at All for Fun 2024, Mile High Jeep Club's annual event, and this year it's in Buena Vista. And right now we're sitting down with Ryan. How you doing, man?
Doing pretty good, and you?
I'm doing all right. You getting tired yet?
Always, man.
Because it's, I feel like it's halfway through the week and I'm ready to just drop.
Yeah. I mean, when you're running trips, you're running early every day. And then, you want to try and enjoy the activities under the tent, hang out, socialize with people. So you generally stay up a little bit later than you would if you knew you were getting up early the next day.
Exactly.
And you just do that every single day.
And
of course, I mean, you know this, that wheeling one day can drain you a little bit. Just the constant beating up, the focus that you need to give on a trail, and then just doing it for, it's been 3 days in a row, 4 days in a row now.
Yeah, I think my biggest mistake was doing Wheeler Lake on the first day, and just kind of, I really should have done something scenic and kind of, because I got back from that trip and I'm like, I think I should go home. I'm too tired. So anyway, so for those of you who are not familiar, Ryan is one of the core guys for Trails Off-Road. And have you been here kind of in official capacity this trip?
Yeah, it's all official.
It's all official?
It's all been a work trip.
All right.
So Trails Off-Road was the trail sponsor, essentially.
Okay.
So we created a page where all the attendees could go and see what trips are being ran, what trails are being run as part of that trip, difficulties, and then what days they were being ran. That way they didn't have to stand in a mass line somewhere to see some printed form. Just make it a little easier so people could plan when they're at their camp or at their Airbnb or whatever. And then the trail leaders, when a lot of people come from out of state to help lead trips for this event, they may not be familiar with the trails. So again, we're helping out those trip leaders do some pre-trip planning.
Sometimes it's on trail planning, actually.
Sometimes it is. Sometimes you got to be on your feet. So that kind of helps out too, right? It's different than pulling out your maps. You just pull out our app and decide where you're going to go.
Yeah, it was. I was with the High Country 4x4 guys, and they kind of got thrown into doing some of those trails the other day.
Oh yeah.
And so me with the Trails Off-Road app and Kat, and we're just trying to help them out.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier when you do that. Part of the reason, and I will talk about this until the cows come home, but part of the reason why I do what we do with the trail stuff is it's so much easier than just looking at lines on a map. Like Cotrex, if you're not familiar, in Colorado, there is an app called Cotrex, and it's a very good app from the who is it? This Department
Parks and Wildlife. I think, is the official partner of it.
But they essentially, they get all the MVUMs and as much as the most current data they can, and put it into something that you can then look at and see. Oh, here's all the trails in this area. The problem is it doesn't have any actual difficulty ratings, so you can get into some real trouble real fast.
Yeah.
Like there's some places down by Lake George, and you wouldn't know because nobody ever writes about them that there's a couple places you can get in nice, tight, real trouble real fast. So. So how long have you been doing the stuff for Trails Off-Road then? You got a year count yet?
So I have been an official employee for 2 years.
Okay.
Just over 2 years now.
Okay. But we've been doing this for what, 8, 9 years?
We've been writing for him since that second year, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like my user number is 159. But my rider number, I think, is
4
in the top. It's in the top 10.
Yeah.
I think it might be number 9.
Yeah. Man, I got to tell you, those first write-ups that I did versus the stuff that I do now is 100%.
Oh, yeah.
I went back and redid Gold Camp and Old Stage, and I was looking at it when I was doing it, I was going, damn, I really thought this was good at the time.
Well, we talk about this internally as a team, too. You are trying to get wheelers to become photographers and writers.
Yeah.
And you can't work the other. I mean, you can work the other way too. You could get photographers and writers to try and become wheelers, but they're going to essentially just drive dirt roads, easy stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a totally different mindset.
Yeah. I think part of the reason why we put Trails Off-Road, we put a lot of effort into it, and I think some people understand it.
Yeah.
I think some people don't understand it, but I was explaining to a group the other day, it was Wheeler Lake, and it was 11 waypoints. And I said, this is 11 waypoints, which means I would be getting out of the vehicle at least 11 times, 3, 5, 10 minutes at a shot to get all the pictures and get all the information from that spot and move on. And then it's just a level of work that I don't think everybody appreciates. You have to love doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I think it's turned out. We've got a good group now. We got a really good core group of writers.
Yeah.
So I am trying to recruit Nathan here. He's our unpaid intern from Pittsburgh to be a scout writer in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
So
we're always looking for new people because, life is a cycle for everybody. Sometimes people are into four-wheeling for a really long time, and maybe family issues or financial issues kind of get in the way, and so they're not wheeling anymore. And then those trail guides get really old, or they even move away. I mean, that happens a lot of times now, too.
Yeah, and poor Tim.
Yep.
Did all that stuff for the Colorado high country and then moved to Mississippi.
In Mississippi, yes. Not just one state over, right?
Yeah. But, I mean, I think we've come up with a good plan to keep these updated now, and it's a lot better. So.
Yeah.
So what else? What have you been doing just on a personal level? What were your trail hits this time?
So on a personal level,
they don't have to be group runs. I know.
Yeah.
I know when we're doing these kinds of things, I went out and did my own thing yesterday too. So.
Yeah. So like I said, I was out here in a work capacity, so I'm out here trying to make sure that trails are updated, that they look accurate. So I went up on the very first day. I followed a group up through Iron Chest, just checked conditions on that trail.
Nice. Didn't break anything.
Nope.
Well done.
Two-door JL on 37s. Does perfectly fine through that trail. Then the second day went up to the Leadville area and mapped out South Half Moon, which, if you're a user of our app now, you'll know that we have a half moon trail guide out there. That's one of those situations we were just talking about where the rider has disappeared. The trail guide is extremely old, and that road was closed for about 2 or 3 years in a row.
Oh, really?
So nobody could get out there to update it. The Forest Service was doing a bunch of work regarding camping and widening the road because there's 3 14er trailheads back there. So it's extremely busy with campers and hikers, especially when you come in. So it was about time to get up there. 4th of July weekend, I mapped the north side of the road, and then this week I mapped the south side of the road because also the other problem we had with that was part of the Pike San Isabel travel management plan. And when the lawsuit originally hit, it closed. So it's called South Half Moon or Iron Mike Mine. it closed 85% of that trail.
Wow.
That lawsuit did.
Yeah.
And the Leadville Ranger District, agreed that they wanted to add it back in. So in these final documents, it is added back in full.
Yeah.
So now that it is again official, it was time to get back on that trail.
Oh, yeah.
So did that, and then I mapped out a new trail yesterday. A few things. Ran a few, just all by myself. Ran it out to Billings Lake.
Okay.
We did that one. Yeah, that's pretty easy. Cool stuff up there. Met some cool guys at Pride of the West Tunnel that actually walked into the tunnel. So I followed suit and put on my flip-flops, walked into the tunnel because it is about ankle-deep water for a ways in. And walked about 100, 200 yards in, and then they were going to keep going, and I was like, I'm out.
That's the extent of my exploratory.
Yep, I'm
That's
out.
Amazing.
Then did another scout route, and then mapped a new trail called Taylor Mountain.
Ooh, that's fun. Nice, pretty, hard. What is it?
It's a moderate.
You know me, I'm a 3 to 5 guy with good scenery.
I would call it a 4.
Okay.
It's a slow burner, depending on which way you started. I started it from the eastern entrance, and it's a county road at first. So graded, goes past a couple properties, and then slowly starts to get a little bit narrower, a little bit rockier, and then you're driving over probably like football-sized rocks.
Okay.
Consistently.
Yeah.
It's kind of cobblestoney for a really long ways, and it's just consistently climbing.
Yeah.
I'll have to check my elevation reports, but it just kept climbing. Just
keep going up. Just keep going up.
Then you come to an old quartz rock quarry.
Okay.
Where
That's fun.
there's some big boulders there for you to flex on, pose, take some pictures.
Cool.
And then from there, it starts climbing up Taylor Mountain.
Okay.
It's narrow, kind of shelfy.
Yeah.
It's not, sheer drop-offs, but there's an exposed slope.
One of those 45-degree shelves where you're just kind of like you can see a road's been cut through it.
Yeah, and it's not wide enough to pass somebody if you came across
That's
them.
okay. That's my perfect trail, man. That's Argentine.
Yeah.
That's Nereus mine run that goes around the back.
So it reminded me a lot of like the Uray area, those kind of roads. And you're super
yeah.
high, so you can see all the mountains. You can see down into the Salida Valley.
Ooh, that's cool.
It is a pretty cool one. It's a little unfortunate. There's a lot of smoke in the air.
Yeah, it's like I really wanted to do Princeton or Antero, just kind of, and then now my drone is broken, and the smoke is in the air, and I may as well just kind of come back.
Yeah.
So I might come back. I was looking at the map. There's a whole bunch of stuff on the other side of the mountain range here that we have not scouted out yet.
Oh, nice.
And I might make an effort of that and park my parents in an Airbnb someplace and go do that. So it's very cool. I think we're about to get our afternoon storm. Do you have anything else that you wanted to bring up, trails off-road related or even personal related?
Let's see. So, if you're an Android user for Trails Off-Road, you probably noticed that our Android Auto was offline for a couple months. They had made some new requirements for Android Auto capable apps. We didn't meet those requirements on the initial build. So we had to rebuild the app essentially. It has been approved, so you should be seeing Android Auto again. So if you're a user and we're wondering where it went, it should be back now. Just make sure that you update to the latest version. There's always new stuff coming down, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the purpose of that's why we keep doing it, right?
Yeah, and one thing, we get this question a lot, so if anybody's listening in and kind of wondering about this, when you open your app, you're almost always, you're not on it on a daily basis, like me and some of the other employees or riders might be. You're maybe on it once a week, but every time you open that app, your offline maps is going to say there's an update. And that is because we're updating maps or trails every week. We do publishing once a week, and we're adding new trails every week. So if a trail gets added to a state, it could be a little quarter-mile road that you would never even know of.
Right.
But it is a new trail, so it needs to be added to your offline maps. Hence, it will say update required.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's good, man. I appreciate you stopping by here and chatting for a little bit, man.
Yeah, totally.
So, what else are you going to do? What else? Any trail? I think I asked this question, but I don't know if you answered me. All right, is there any trails that you're going to try to hit now between now and the time you leave? Or are you done?
No, my time's here is done. The fun time. Now I have to go home and do do the side that nobody sees, right? Everybody gets to see the fun side of the job.
Yeah, we all have day jobs. Like none of us are doing this. This is all, I'm doing this on vacation time.
Yeah. Now I gotta go home and I gotta put all that data that I collected into the system on the backside, edit photos, videos, you know, fix tracks, all that kind of stuff. So the non-glamorous side of Trails Off-Road.
Yeah, exactly.
That no one sees.
The pedal to the metal part.
Yep. And then make sure that, there's enough money in the bank for us to keep going.
Exactly, right? Well, Ryan, thank you very much for coming and stopping by. Hopefully we don't get too much dirt and air in this final cut. But I think we're pretty good here. Our live folks left us some comments.
Cool.
So, Ryan, thanks a lot, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, dude. Next time.
All right, have a good one.
Hi, I'm Jerry Ross with Mile High Jeep Club, and you're listening to the Trailhead Podcast.